You know, you're the third boxer that I've had on, and now obviously retired boxer. But
Who beat me to it?
we had Billy on, and then we had a person who's been trying to make his debut in Melbourne. I'm sure you know him. His name is Yusuf. And every time he goes to make his debut, the fighter pulls out.
Happens.
Happens, eh?
It's common.
Common, eh?
Especially if you know how to fight.
Yeah, and he told me, look, he's not the type of person that boasts, but he said, look, it's happened 5 times.
Oh, that's one. No.
He was an amateur middleweight champion. Is that?
Yeah, middleweight is in the 70s.
Yeah.
70 something, 72 kilos, yeah.
He's from Melbourne. He had just finished Umrah. And then when we did the pause with him last year, he was so excited. I was about trying to go to his fight in Melbourne, pulled out. Then he had another one last Saturday, pulled out. So
He'll come around.
you know the feeling.
Yeah, it's common. It's common in the sport.
Yeah.
Yeah, sometimes we pull out. We get injured. Things happen. We train hard.
Yeah.
So sometimes our body, we tear a ligament, we do a bicep, we do a knuckle.
Wow.
Sometimes we have to pull out. It's not unfair. It's just how the sport is played.
You know, in the early 2000s, the sport of boxing in Australia, I would say it's almost uncommon for a person from an Arab background in Australia, born and raised or raised in Australia, to just make it on the flight scene. We had Nader Hamdan at the time. My dad, Allah yarhamu, would mention these names to show that, we have people from our culture.
Yeah.
Your name was one of them.
Mm-hmm.
I was in primary at the time, but the one that I remember clearly, I know I don't want to open old wounds, but you're a fighter, was a Pacquiao. It's a famous one.
I'm trying to forget it.
Oh, so I'm so sorry.
No, it's all right.
But Pacquiao wasn't as big as he was like later on. He was still big.
He was big, but he wasn't on the magnitude of what
the Mayweather level.
So yeah, when he hit America, he sort of became a superstar.
But in the Philippines, he was the biggest thing.
In Asia, he was
in
the biggest
Asia.
thing.
Sorry,
so,
yeah.
And everyone forgets, but the Asian continents are more in numbers.
Wow.
So if you look at the MMA fight, everyone thinks, UFC is the number one. No, one championship.
That's right, one championship.
There's more views. There's more people subscribe to it. They sell more. They do more revenue. But everyone knows that America hits the target.
That's right.
Every boxer wants to fight in America for some reason. Every fighter wants to fight on the UFC cards. I don't know why, but it is what it is.
You've did well to reach our page so far. Make sure you follow, share, subscribe, and like. We are proud to announce that we've partnered with Core Assist Disability Services. If you or anyone has a disability, you can follow and contact Core Assist, and they will go above and beyond to help you all over Australia. We've also partnered with Imperial Glass and Timber for all your timber needs. This panel, Imperial. We love Imperial. From bespoke joinery to standard joinery, they have it all.
I think it's the marketing machine, the propaganda behind it as well.
For sure.
American company. One championship is Asian company.
Asian company, yeah.
So when you fought Manny, how old were you and how old was he roughly? Do you remember?
We don't know. His age is... we're born the same time. But they said he was a year younger than me. So I was 22, he was 21.
Wow. Early in your career?
Yeah, we're both young.
I didn't realize that young. And I watched a video recently. I think he did a podcast or a live, and I watched it. I jumped in and watched it. And it showed that the referee, there was a video of him.
Yeah.
What was that?
He admitted fault.
So he admitted that he robbed you?
Yeah, he admitted that. He said that he did it for the Filipino people. He said that he was Filipino, they're Filipino. And yeah, he admitted to it, and nothing was done. No one was reprimanded, no officials were taken off the set, no one got sacked, no one got warned. Even with him, when we made a complaint through the solicitors to overrule the decision, they said, he just said it out of tongue in cheek. He didn't mean it. This guy's 85 years old. He's getting inducted into Hall of Fame. Why would you say that if you didn't mean it? And why would you ruin your legacy anyway? Take it to your grave.
Maybe the guilt.
Yeah, maybe the guilt, yeah.
So the 21-year-old skinny Hussein goes to the Philippines?
Philippines, yeah.
And I'd say beats Manny Pacquiao.
Yeah.
And would you say it was a clear victory by decision, or what was it?
So if we watch the whole fight, I lost. If you go for the whole fight, we lost. But the count was 18 count. The count was 18 seconds.
So you dropped him?
So he dropped in the fourth, and he didn't get up until 18 seconds. So the fight doesn't go 10 rounds anyway. So the next 6 rounds, I won 2, he won 4 out of the last 6 rounds. But it's irrelevant. The fight should have been stopped in the fourth. For the fighter's sake, there's a reason why there's a 10 count. Because there's a fighter safety. If you can't continue after 10, He's not fit to continue. So why would you put him in harm? Fighters have died in the ring. So why, as an official, why would you put a fighter in harm that something's going to happen to him? Even if he got up and then I hit him and knocked him out, that could have been. It didn't happen, but if it did happen, then the referee's held accountable for negligence.
And would you say it was similar to the Tyson Fury? Remember that fight recently, a couple of fights ago? The ref counted 10, but they'd say it was a 15 count, or was it even more than that?
All right, my time and Fury's time,
Yeah.
2 different times.
Okay.
So what happened is what they did now because they don't want concussions, they don't want this and that. So as soon as they count to 10, they count to 8. So once the fighter gets up, they ask the fighter, "Are you okay? Are you okay?" Then they'll say, "Take 2 steps forward." That saves 5-6 seconds. Back in my days, you get up if you make it by 8, I'm ready to take you. Like I'm waiting for the referee to let his hands go. Where now, because they don't want high concussion rates, they don't want high what's it called, knockouts and
CTE and
whatever happens.
All the suits and everything.
Yeah, they don't want all that. What NFL goes through in America. Yeah. So they're stricter on. So no count is now 8. It's 12, 13.
But it's clear.
It's clear, it's common. But now it's different because now they've found out that the sport can be dangerous. The sport, if you take too much punishment or if you keep fighting with a concussion, after 8 seconds, you don't know if they got a concussion or not.
How many fights roughly did you fight after that fight? Because it would have been such a...
That was my 20th fight.
Wow,
I fought 47 all up. But hey, I'll tell you something. I fought my last 27 with no drive.
Yeah.
Always trained hard, always fought hard. But when you have that drive. Yeah.
The killer instinct,
drive.
right?
There's no drive. If you're oppressed at work,
it's true.
You go to work and you do your job, but you got no drive. You won't push any further. I just didn't have the desire to drive. Once the politics of the sport got into it, I went to school with great footy players.
Yeah.
And they played Jersey flag, SG ball. Like they could never make the crack, that 30 side. And they always felt like they were hard done by. Not because they knew the guy on the other that made the top 30 wasn't as on their level. But he goes, mate, they picked me because racism. They picked me because discrimination.
Especially that time.
And in the 90s and
2000s.
It was very common, bro.
Look at Mundane.
Oh, yeah, man, yeah.
That's a prime example. The state of origin.
Yeah.
They never picked him.
Ricky
Stewart,
Stewart,
Laurie Daly.
Never played Origin.
They would have never played Origin.
Yeah.
Australian team, they put him just...
He played once. Yeah, but it's easier to make the Australian team than the Origin team.
It is, yeah.
It is.
But your time was very difficult. I had a couple of people in the 90s, regardless of if it was a sporting background or a educational background or physio or chiro and whatnot, they all said the 90s and the 2000s weren't easy.
They weren't.
Yeah, you guys paved the way for us.
I don't like saying that, but
it's true.
But there was a borderline of white privilege. All right? Yeah, you know what I mean? But there's nothing wrong with that.
That's the truth.
Because now the playing field's even. You know what I mean? There's a lot of Polynesians playing football now.
It's true.
There's probably more Polynesians playing football than Anglos. It's just how
51%.
it is. There you go, 51%. There's indigenous that are playing football. Right. There's Lebanese, there's Iraqis, there's Afghans playing football. The culture of rugby has changed from the 90s. We went from a white sport, dominantly white sport, to it's changed a lot.
And what was boxing, would you say?
Boxing was white as well.
It was white as well?
Yeah, very, very white.
Yeah.
But especially in Australia.
You look at the superstars or the stars that came out, Jeff Finnick,
White. But he's born here.
Born here, yeah.
Like at the end of the day, he's born here. So he's Australian.
Okay.
Jeff Harding, Australian.
Jeff Harding, right.
Yeah. You had guys like Lionel Rose, indigenous at the time. Barry Michaels, Lester Ellis. You know what I mean? So,
was Danny Green, he started out?
Danny Green was later.
Yeah.
Later, Danny Green was maybe 05 and onwards.
So you had that loss with Manny Pacquiao, and I wouldn't say it's a loss because you dropped him and won.
Yeah.
He went on to have that career.
He did.
Everything happens by the will of Allah, as we know it.
Alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah. But subhanallah, if that decision and the ref didn't cheat you, imagine that you'd have the same killer instinct, if not more.
By Allah, maybe I'm not entitled to have wealth in this world.
Subhanallah.
Because maybe I would have slumped holy. Maybe I wasn't entitled to have fame.
Wow.
Maybe I would have oppressed my family. Allahu Alim.
Allahu Akbar.
So I don't.
That's beautiful.
I don't say that. I missed out on millions.
Nah.
I didn't miss out on millions because your result was written for you.
Exactly.
So if I made $8,000, I fought many for $8,000.
Allahu Akbar.
And when I went to Listen, when I went to the Philippines, we went there staunch that we're going to win the fight because no Australian at the time travels to Asia because they said with Asia they have one fighter and they have 3 referees in their corner. It was common that fighters would go there, win 8 rounds and lose the fight or get a draw. So and the catchphrase was you have to knock him out to get a draw. So you have to put him out cold and maybe they'll give you a draw out of it.
You went to there knowing that.
I knew. I knew he was world champion and he was a superstar that he was. And he had fought 2 of my teammates before and knocked one of them out in 4 and 1 in 5. So I wasn't going there as a brash, cocky bloke. I knew I wouldn't jump on a plane and go to the Philippines. Like for no reason. You get it?
Yeah.
So I went there knowing I was going to win that fight.
What kind of mentality would you need to have to go and face something like that where you're knowing you're versing a superstar and also knowing that he knocked out your teammate, the other teammate lost, and then the phrase that you said that you're versing the referees and him, you're knowing all that before the fight?
I didn't care. I didn't think he was a chance of beating me. That's true. It didn't matter. Yeah, but you know what? Sometimes we take a step ahead. We shouldn't have done it.
You were 21.
Yeah, because no, usually 21, they don't travel.
Yeah.
But the fight before that, I had gone to Scotland. Listen, I'll tell you the truth. I won 11 out of the 12 rounds. And the back then in Scotland, the official was a referee. There was no judges. So at the end of the fight, he puts his hand on your head and you win the fight, whatever. I won 11 out of the 12 rounds. He gave me the fight by 1 point. I was the first Aussie to get a decision in the UK in 42 years. So the Australians were going there, winning 8 rounds out of the 12, and they weren't giving him the fight. They weren't winning. They were just oppressing fighters. That's why sometimes when they come to this country, we give them a fair shake every single time.
They do, yeah.
Every single time. And sometimes you think our boy won and they give it to the other guy. Like, I'm not saying you should rob a fighter,
No.
but we give everyone a fair shake in Australia. The officials are pretty fair. There's some incompetent ones, but that's on them. Yeah, but the problem is, unlike rugby league, when an official makes a bad error, we don't replace him. We don't reprimand him. He's back in the field the next day. When rugby league, you make a mistake, they make you play reserve. They put you in reserve grade.
That's right.
Work your colours and get back up.
That's right, especially
you make a mistake in Origin,
That's right. As a referee.
As a referee.
So you one growing up in a difficult time in Australia for Lebanese Muslim at the time, and then on top of that, the politics of boxing was at an all-time high.
What was?
You're saying you're the first person to win in 42 years in the UK.
In the UK, yeah. I win points decision.
By points decision, yeah.
Aussies have gone there and knocked people out, but no one had won on points, the sport wasn't fair. It wasn't fair. And the playing field was even... Everyone knew you don't go to Germany unless they're paying you well. You don't go to UK unless you're getting paid well. And then all the guys that towards the end of their career will go there because it was double the money they'll get in Australia. Do you get it?
Yeah.
It's like rugby league now. Your playing days are over in Australia. You go to UK, they pay you well, and the game's a lot slower. Yeah. You're able to keep up with...
It's true.
You know? So the tide always changes. Listen, the most uplifting thing was Mundine coming into the sport.
Wow.
He put eyes on Islam. He put eyes on Indigenous. It wasn't no more like a white-collar sport. It wasn't run by, the Les Sellers, the Barry Michaels, the Jeff Hardings, the Danny Greens and all that. Truck had charisma. He had the love him or hate him attitude.
Sold papers.
Yeah, but he put bums on seats.
Yeah, put bums on seats.
They don't care.
Nah.
No one cares.
Revenue raising. Yeah.
No,
he still holds some of the records of the highest gates in Australia, local.
He's got the highest gate for pay-per-views. Yeah. Him and Danny Green.
But it takes two to tango.
Listen, Mundine needed the dance partner and there was no one better. But I'll tell you what, if the Mundine wasn't fighting today, Danny Green is not where he's...
They're close now. They're
good mates.
They're good mates.
Listen, any fighter that fight, even it doesn't matter about animosity. If you share the ring with someone, you have the most upright respect for someone. Legit. If you, like, I got blokes I still talk to that beat me up in 94. You know what I mean? It's on social media and it's through the horizons, but I got respect for them. Even though they beat me up and I missed out on certain opportunities because of them, but it is what it is.
What's it take to make it in your sport at that time? I'm talking about from an athleticism point of view. The toll it takes on your body.
Yeah, it's hard. It's hard on the body. Cutting weight is hard. Smaller guys always struggle with weight. You get over the weight cut, and it's 12 kilos, 13 kilos, 10 kilos. It's
3-month camp?
yeah, but sometimes you go to a camp heavy. So you're not doing a camp, you're doing a weight loss camp.
Wow.
So you're not concentrating on, some of the fights we had in Australia weren't evenly matched fights. So sometimes we go in there and we're 70% we're going to win the fight. And people know you got an agent from overseas, you bring him up, he's just an opponent. You can sell a few tickets, you can put bums on seats, or get you someone you can win, and the crowd will keep supporting you. You build him up. In Australia, we're good at building fighters up. Sometimes we build them up too much for too long, and then they get to 30-0, and they realize, oh, we're in deep.
What do you think about the new up-and-coming fighters and the new management with George Rose and whatnot, with what they're doing, with the way they're building up fighters like Tszyu? I know it's the surname and the history, him and his brother, and you got the I forgot what it's called, but George Rose's company.
But Tszyu is his own entity.
Okay.
But so when they do a promotion, it's Tszyu and
That's right.
No Limits. Do you get it? So
No
it's
Limits, sorry. Yeah.
Yeah, No Limits. No Limits have done a good job in the sport. But I just feel they got a bit greedy and sort of wanted to take over the sport real quick and thin out some promoters.
Oof.
And so what they did, they signed a lot of fighters for good money, like double what they were getting somewhere else. But when after a year, when everything sort of started even out, it's hard to, when you're paying someone good 12 grand, it's hard to say you're going to fight for 6 grand now.
Oh, yeah, of course.
He's not going to have a bar of it. Do you get it? It doesn't matter. You overpaid him at the start. The Turkey Al Sheikh
Yeah.
in the UK,
In Riyadh season.
in Riyadh said, he's overpaying everyone.
That's right.
When a year or two, when they realize the Saudi government, they're losing money and not making money or not breaking even, they're going to say, oh, listen, mate, you're not worth 3 million no more. You're worth the 1.1 million you're worth 2 years ago. So they're going to bring things back. But they came in very aggressive. He stamped his authority into the sport. He signed fighters up. He's got the Ring magazine belt, which is good because if we can get rid of the other rubbish belts and the Ring's only legitimate belt, then we're going to only have one champion.
Well, what do you mean by all the rubbish belts? Because there's like WBA, WBC.
That's
What is that? I never got it.
They're organized. They're saying, it's like saying UFC, one champion, Bellator, Strikeforce. But in boxing, we can fight for the same belt. Where over there, you're signed up to the promotion.
Right. Yes.
So you're signed up to one champion, you can't fight outside. But these are the same belts. Some are held in higher state because WBC, the green belt is held high, even though it's the most corrupt organization. No, by none.
Wow.
You ask any boxer, you ask anything, the WBC and WBA are the longest reigning, but the most corrupt. Yeah, the most corrupt, for sure.
Would you say that your sport is one of the most corrupt sports in the world? I'm talking about that.
It's a chosen sport.
Yeah.
So Canelo can do no wrong.
Okay.
Do you get? So what Canelo has done now, fighters were being stripped of their titles. Canelo's meant to fight Benavidez.
That's right.
For 3 years straight. And they kept giving Benavidez interim belts. Mate, you're meant to fight your mandatory every 9 months. This guy's been sitting for 3 years. And then he goes, I want stuff you. I'm going to go up a division. I'm not going to wait for you no more. Then Benavidez did. He went up a weight division. Now he's champion in another weight division.
What do you think of the last fight with Fury and what's his name? Usyk.
Yeah.
Did you think that would happen? Did you predict that?
I wanted Usyk to win.
Oh, you wanted him to win?
I was hoping he wins.
Okay.
Yeah. I was a bit skeptical in the first fight because Fury looked good in pockets. He looked stages. But his fatigue hurt him a bit.
His heart's not in it, you reckon?
No, his heart's in it, bro.
It is? So Usyk is just better?
Usyk's better. He's a better boxer, Usyk.
He came...
Fundamentally, he's a better fighter.
Okay.
As an amateur and as a pro. So when you have good fundamentals, unless you get blown out, like Floyd Mayweather always had good fundamentals. Roy Jones didn't. Roy Jones had natural ability, he had eye coordination, good speed, good reflexes. When his body slowed down, that 1 inch that he was making a miss before was getting him now.
Wow.
But Floyd is technically saying his hands are tight, he doesn't get hit, he takes no risk. Bernard Hopkins got flogged by Roy Jones in their prime. Later on, when they fought in their 40s, Roy couldn't hit Bernard because technically Bernard's a better boxer.
That's right.
His athleticism, they're not going to last in your 40s, in your late 30s, in your 20s. In the early 30s, they're going to last. But later on in life, the more punishment you get hit, the slower you become.
The The one question that was on everybody's mind, even though we're past that now, do you think the Jake Paul and Mike Tyson fight was rigged? I know he's 60 years old, but there's all these videos of people on Instagram and YouTube analyzing, showing that he like backed out on power punches.
Yeah, I don't think the fight was rigged.
Yeah.
The fight itself. I think the beforehand, hey, listen, Mike, you can't knock him out. You're not going to get paid. If you hurt him, you're not going to get paid. Do you get it? So now you're hesitant now.
You think so?
Mike's a money man.
100%. He made big money.
Yeah, 20 million, whatever he made.
Yeah.
He's not coming at 58 years old to fight a YouTuber and embarrass himself other than money. You get it?
So you think he could have easily knocked him out if he wanted to?
No, I don't think he could have knocked him out. I think his feet are gone.
Yeah.
I think his coordination is gone. I think his balance is gone. But I still think he didn't do what he should have done.
You know, there's.
I think I've seen the holding back once. I'm not going to say it's fixed.
Yeah.
I think the fight was legit. But when you talk to someone, it happened to me in amateurs. I fought a guy that I know. In the amateurs, you grow up together with people. You got to look rugby league.
Yeah.
You might be playing your mate's team.
That's right.
You have a good relationship with your mate, but on the field, you're going to flog him. But I had an amateur when I was 16. The day came to the dressing room and goes, please, you're fighting my son. Can you just go easy on him? You know, he's this and that. We don't, because I fought his other brother as well. And I bet his brother was better and bigger.
Sure.
So he asked me, can you? And I said, yeah, all good, I'll work with him. But I was working with him. I thought I was sparring. And this kid was going boom, 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 boom. By the time I got back motivated and hungry again, the fight was over. You get it? The fights in amateurs are 5 minutes round. It's 5 minutes all up. It's 2 minute rounds.
So you carried him in the fight? You just
I
carried
him
the fight?
in the fight so I don't hurt him.
Is that the term, carrying the fight? Like to just see it through
I
for a
carried
decision?
him so he doesn't get hurt.
Yeah.
Not knowingly that I was going to let him win.
He won?
He won the fight. I didn't do nothing. I was punching him.
What happened to his dad?
His dad didn't. I said to the dad, I said, you set me up. He set me up. It doesn't matter. It is what it is.
Reflecting on your career, and I asked that to Billy, subhanAllah, all sports, and especially the common sport, the major sports, people, athletes, now it's kind of changing with education and whatnot, but athletes focus on their career, but your career is only so long. How did you find the transition post your career?
I didn't struggle at all.
You didn't struggle at all?
No. Yeah, I went straight into the workforce.
MashaAllah.
Went to the car game.
Me too.
Yeah, I was working at Sutton's in Raspberry.
Wow.
Yeah, what's called Sutton's Homebush. Sutton's Raspberry, selling Holdens and whatever it was, used cars. And listen, I did a thing. I didn't get to the gym for 10 years.
After your whole career?
I didn't go visit the gym. I didn't get to the fights for years to go. Billy's earlier fights, I barely watched him. Watched him later on. But even the other teammates, I didn't watch. I want to be away from the sport. Not because I didn't want to be that guy that makes a comeback every 2 years. I don't want to be that guy. And I always said, if I get flogged in a fight, it didn't matter if it was my second fight or my 50th fight. I said, if I ever get flogged in a fight where I feel useless, I'll retire. And I did. My last fight, I went to Japan. I fought a kid who was a gun, like a gun. And I felt useless. After I won Joe, he throws 4. After I won 2, he hits me with 14 punches. My feet weren't there, nothing was there. So I said to my brother at the end of it, I said, man, I'll retire. I'm not doing this again.
How old were you when you retired?
29.
29. But then again, what you were saying earlier, that it's 27 or 21 fights with no motivation in terms of that killer instinct. No drive after the politics and the issues. It's like you're forcing yourself to go to work.
Yeah, well, it was a struggle.
Yeah,
honestly, especially when I had kids, it became harder.
Yeah.
You know?
So your last fight was in Japan against a young up-and-coming gun.
Yeah, he's a world champion. He knocked out the guy that knocked out Billy Dib.
Oh, wow.
Remember when Billy went to Japan?
Yeah.
And got beat by this very good Japanese guy.
That's right.
Billy was winning the early rounds and he got caught in the second or third, whatever it was. Yeah, my bloke beat that guy that was champion and won the title off him. But my chap's phenomenal.
With all the influencer boxing, if anyone called you out for and the money's on the line.
Nah, then do it.
But it's an exhibition.
I don't need the money.
No, not about the money. Just, the whole exhibition.
I won't do an exhibition.
You won't do an
I'll
exhibition.
do a fight. I won't do an exhibition. If they told me Manny wants an exhibition, I'll say I'm happy to fight him.
Manny
or whatever.
If it's Manny.
If they told me, if they told me Manny. Yeah.
Let's run back what happened.
I won't talk money. I'll talk Manny.
Yeah.
Because I know if I talk money, there's money involved to it. It's just how it is. There's a golden goose. He lays the egg and everyone feeds off it.
Did you had a promoter with your time?
Jeff Fennick was
Jeff Fennick?
Jeff Fennick was
Throughout your whole career?
Mm.
And your brother was your trainer?
Towards the end,
Towards the end.
my brother's always been in the team.
Mm.
Jeff had 25 fighters. So we Jeff needed 4 or 5 trainers. There was 4 or 5 trainers. My brother's one of them.
Mm.
But alhamdulillah, he done all right. Everyone done all right.
Yeah, alhamdulillah.
I think the whole team overachieved.
Wow.
If we say anyone overachieved, Mandin overachieved, Billy Dib overachieved.
He was in that team?
No, Danny Green was.
Okay.
Danny Green overachieved. We all overachieved.
What do you mean by overachieved? As in
Listen,
beyond expectations or?
No, but I went into the sport thinking nothing.
Okay.
You know, I came here as a good amateur. I wasn't an elite amateur. I never made the Olympics because one bloke kept beating me for the tournaments. And it only takes one bloke to go. So I couldn't win any tournaments in Australia because of one bloke. But I missed out on the Commonwealth, missed out on the Olympics. I said, I'll turn pro at 18. People turn pro at 22, 23, 24. I didn't. I turned pro at 18. I had 20 fights by the time I was 21. So, yeah.
So, you 46 fights by 29?
29, yeah.
And usually 46 fights, they're probably in the...
I had a 10-year career.
MashaAllah.
I started in 97. I turned pro.
Straight.
And I retired in 07. Yeah. My first year and a half, I had 14 fights. So I was active. I was busy. I was in the gym.
MashaAllah.
It didn't matter. Why would I? I'm gonna aspire and get hit harder. No, I'd rather fight someone.
And did you have that mentality, or was it instilled into you with your team that you've got that the drive, you've got the athleticism, you've got the fitness, and
no, if you can get through a fight and you're unscathed, you haven't got cuts and nothing. Why not? We'll put you in next week or the week after. But the money was minimum. What? It was minimal. It wasn't 1,200 a fight, 1,500 a fight. It wasn't. We weren't getting paid, but we're getting our record. We're building up our record.
Yeah, and that's how it was more back then.
But that's how it was,
getting the numbers up.
And now everyone talks money. Now if you say to someone, "Oh, do you want to fight?" Fight for argument's sake. Yeah, how much is it? That's what they say. Before they say, "Oh, Billy, do you want to fight him?" Yeah, book it in. When's the date? What weight are we fighting at? Because you're always worried about weight. What weight are we fighting at? You know, because you didn't want to make weight unless it was a title fight. So I always fought at 55. But I never fought at 55 unless it was a title. I always fought at 57, 58. Because I wasn't going to drain 55 and for no reason.
Are you saying 55 kilos?
Yeah, 55 kilos.
And you dropped from what?
63. But we had no body fat at all. It was hard. It hurt.
It explains
It hurt later.
It explains why you went 10 years without in the gym.
Yeah.
That's brutal, subhanAllah. You're cutting 10 kilos of weight.
But I've always been skinny.
Yeah.
And that's why I got called skinny from when I was 9 years old.
Who called you skinny?
My first trainer at Belmore PCYC.
Wow.
Yeah, in amateurs.
What would you say to someone, like I've had what I mean by athletic, nowhere near you. It's amateur, like just local sports and whatnot. But I felt like I was always athletic. But since I was in my early teens, I always said one day I want to go boxing. I never went boxing. What would you say to someone like me in his 30s who's never done boxing before and probably subconsciously feels like his striking is like never done boxing before?
Rock up at the gym, do a class, see where your level of fitness is, not anything. Listen, I got kids at the gym from 14 to 18. I got some lazy kids that their parents are still bringing them, that they don't want to be there, but their parents bring them. I got kids that are just bumping to be there. They're just, we can't wait. What do you close on weekends for? Can't open on weekends. Like they got that energy. But then I got kids who are very athletic but lazy. And I got kids that are very unathletic but hardworking. And honestly, I put more eyes in the hardworking ones.
I've got relatives that train with you.
Yeah.
I have a lot of relatives that train with you. I have mates that train with you, mutual mates, which I haven't told you about. They drive from the area to here to train with you, and they've all told me one thing, that your training is you don't cut corners for no one.
No corners.
It's brutal. Everyone says it's good and it's disciplined and it's brutal. They all say the same thing.
But if I train you, I train you from how I know. Do you get it?
Yeah.
I train you the way I train.
Wow.
I'm not going to sugarcoat what's going on. So it's not CrossFit. You're joining a boxing gym. I'm not saying you have to be on par with the guy next to you.
Yeah.
But you got to put your utmost. We do a minute on, 30 seconds off, whatever we do.
On the bags?
On the bags. Listen, the best thing for boxers is the bag.
Okay.
Even for fighters. The best thing that you can do is hit the bag. Bag and sparring is an essential thing in the sport. Yeah, pads look pretty. They look good on social media.
Yeah.
but they don't give you what the bag gives you. You get it's not the fitness levels are completely different.
I seen a post shared the other day. I think during Ali's time, they trained without pads. It was the first time they introduced pads. You shared it as well. You seen it?
Maybe I've seen it.
Can you recall that?
Ali was talking about
Yeah.
hard work. Was about getting up in the morning and running.
Yeah.
He didn't want to do it, but he ran because he had to run. And he was talking about hitting the bag and sparring. Bag work and sparring.
Which is what you're saying now.
Well, I would replicate any old school fighter.
But do you know when they, like Ali, for example, heavyweight, gets up in the morning and runs, how does he maintain his weight but he's doing like 5Ks every day, for example?
Yeah. Heavyweights don't have to cut weight.
Okay.
So it's over 90 kilos a heavyweight. These guys were very disciplined in their weight. They knew. And heavyweights know. Like Tyson Fury in his last fight fought at 263, the first Usyk fight. The next Usyk fight was like 20 pounds heavier.
That's right.
Yeah. So Usyk knows his bloke's heavier. He's going to be slower. It's subconscious. But he's going to be heavier on him as well.
Yeah,
the weight on him.
Yeah.
So they thought if we put on more weight, we can bully the smaller fighter.
Okay.
But sometimes it makes you slower for that weight. It makes you heavier.
A lot of technicalities, eh?
Yeah, there is. It's not white and black.
Yeah.
The fighting's white and black.
Yeah.
But the IQ of the sport, that's why good IQ, Sugar Ray Leonard and all them guys were phenomenal. They were smart. Leonard was smarter than Hagler and Hearns. And that's why he beat him. He wasn't a better fighter.
Who would you say is the best fighter ever? Your Mount Rushmore.
Listen, we got to put Muhammad Ali on a platform.
Number one.
They have to.
Yeah.
Sugar Ray Robinson, number 2. Then you got, I got a soft spot for a guy called Roberto Duran. Phenomenal. We got a bloke that started his career at 60 kilos and then was fighting guys in 80 kilos. And people don't understand is in boxing, there's weight divisions that are 2 divisions apart, 2 kilos.
That's right.
2 kilos apart. But if I show you the 2 kilos, one's like that, one's like that.
Wow.
One's that thick, one's that thick. 2 kilos is a big difference in a boxing ring, aside from the scales. Big difference.
And who's your fourth one? Best fighter ever?
Julio Cesar Chavez.
Yeah, that's the guy that went on a massive...
He won his first 90 fights.
90 fights. So why isn't he spoken about compared to Mayweather? He won 90 fights.
Because he was Mexican-based. Mexican-based.
Do you think Mayweather's overrated?
I think he's done well for himself.
Okay. He knew how to play the game.
I think he knew who to fight, when to fight.
And Canelo fight, was Canelo too young?
Canelo was way too young.
Okay.
But when you offer someone 5 million, when they're getting 1 million, it tickles a couple feathers, you know? Then they say, listen, if we lose, we're meant to lose. There's no loss to it. Do you get it? So
I've been talking to you for this long, and this is the first time I met you. But subhanAllah, I feel like and I might be wrong, but you're the type of person that just calls a spade a spade. You call a spade. There's no cutting corners or you're going left and right. Doesn't mean you're hurting someone, but you're just black and white. You say it how it is. No wonder why in your career they didn't want you in the platform because you just go on the microphone and just call a spade a spade.
But that's how it is. The sport is cruel. The sport is cruel. And we are very unrealistic in the sport. Some people think they're better than what they are. Some people, you know, I'm not saying I'm the one to tell them.
No.
But if you said to me, oh, there's 2 guys here, who do you pick? Even if it's against my bloke, I'm still going to say, listen, man, if you put Tszyu with one of my teammates, I'm picking Tszyu because it's an obvious bet, you know?
So I watch boxing as a fan, but I won't be able to tell the technicalities compared to your eye. So Tszyu, you'd say, is a good fighter, a great fighter.
Good fighter.
Yeah.
Oh, not great.
Not yet.
Good fighter.
Okay, good fighter. What about his brother? Too young? Still young?
Nikita is fun to watch.
Okay.
But a very dangerous fighter.
Ah.
So he's got a double-edged sword. He's very powerful, but he's very vulnerable as well.
Exposed.
But Tim's not. Tim's just powerful and he walks you down. He's got good fitness, good stamina. Not as vulnerable as Nikita. Nikita has been dropped. He's been hurt numerous times. Tim, we only seen him get hurt in his last fight.
Do you think Zverev will get that fight?
With Tim? No chance.
Who do you think wins?
Tim.
Okay. All right. With your boxing career and your career, what's one of the most hardest things that you've faced?
Aside from the Manny fight?
That was harder.
Yeah, that was hard.
I've seen the behind the scenes.
Yeah, that hurt a lot.
Was that the only time that you were like that?
That's the only thing that broke me.
So the scenes that I seen online after you won that fight but got robbed, That's the only time in your career where you were like that behind the scenes.
But I was fighting. I don't know who I was fighting. Then they had people walking us out of the dressing room, out of the arena with machine guns.
What?
The level of animosity towards us. Listen, after the fourth round, after the referee was doing what he was doing, I got to be rough. Jeff's fighters are all rough. All Jeff's fighters are rough. But in Australia, we can get over because the referees, they call it Jeff Finnick privileges, you know what I mean? They turn the other cheek, whatever you did see it, you know what I mean? So we're always rough. The fighters are always rough. They put their head there and they bump their heads and then when they get the fight and they'll put their elbow in their face. It's a common thing. But I was excessive in what I was doing. I was making it obvious that I was dirty on the referee. So the referee took a point off me and he warned me, but the crowd was very not happy. They threw bottles into the ring.
In Philippines?
In the Philippines, they threw bottles in the 9th round. They made their intention clear that we didn't like it.
How was it for a 21-year-old to face all that? Like, you're going to war.
I don't care. If I'm in the ring, I'm only worried about one person. I don't care.
When did you see the machine guns?
The coppers,
Yeah.
they walked us out of the arena for our protection, not for anyone's protection.
Was it sold out? What was the capacity?
It was 8,500.
8.5.
8.5.
8.5, but
yeah.
full capacity state.
It was in a small town.
Mm.
So what they do in the Philippines, like what they did, like if you get a fighter coming out from America, you got Furman coming out to fight in Brock next, whatever it is.
Yeah, Brock Jarvis.
If the fight's in Newcastle, are you going to put him in a hotel in Darden Harbour? Like, honestly. Well, that's what they did to me in the Philippines. They put me in Manila, and then the day of the fight, they moved me all the way to Antipolo.
What?
They put me 2 hours in a bus.
But you were in Manila to begin with.
I was in Manila the whole time. The fight was 2 hours away in the mountains. But that's what they play games with you. They pick you up at 1 o'clock, and you're sitting in the dressing room from 3 o'clock in the afternoon.
I think it was Francis Ngannou. I think it was him or another fighter recently. And the media just they put a glimpse of what he said, but then it was still in my head. He said, I was here, but then I was fighting at 4 a.m. or something like that. And then I had to drive, and they started joking in the media saying, he's complaining. But then when you think about it, it's what you're saying now.
It's true. They
it's
play
true.
games.
They play games. He said that, I think it was Francis Ngannou, when he lost the fight against Joshua. Joshua knocked him out. But Joshua needed that fight to show that he's back.
Of course.
Yeah.
Joshua was always going to win that fight.
Oh, yeah.
It didn't matter. He was always going to win. It didn't matter. The knockout was a bit of a shock.
Yeah.
But he was always going to win that fight.
Francis Ngannou versus John Jones, who would you have?
John Jones.
IQ?
Yeah, too smart.
Too smart.
Oh, he's the best thing. Yeah. Like, I love Khabib and I love GSP and
yeah.
But no one can do what John Jones does. He's I don't know what he's just phenomenal.
Freak athlete, huh?
He's a freak athlete. And I think he's half-assed as well.
Isn't he?
I think he's 50-50. He's like, I'll belly train.
Yeah.
Like, I'm a heavyweight now. I don't care about making weight.
That's right.
Yeah, he looks like he's got a belly now. He does care.
So it makes sense why Dana White always gloats that he's the best. He loves him. He's a money maker, but also that he really is the best.
People love him too. You know why the people love him? Because he doesn't give a shit.
Yeah, he doesn't.
Doesn't give a shit.
Yeah.
He sits every day in your corner and says, mate, if you spit on me, it's like rule. I'll murder you. I'm not even joking. I'll murder you. And his eyes were, he's going to murder you if he misses.
The way he clipped him in those fights.
Yeah, phenomenal.
He's trying to make up with him, but Daniel doesn't want to make up.
Yeah, but it's stubborn. It's just stubborn.
Yeah, but now that he's in the media, they're slowly warming up to each other.
Yeah, but he's a commentator for the UFC. He fights for the UFC. You can't. There's a conflict of interest.
That's right.
You know what I mean? That's the case. John Jones fights. Comey is he's not on the panel. He's out in the crowds.
That's right.
You know what I mean? It's a business at the end of the day. You can't bag a fighter.
So you went from a 46-fight boxing career. 47, sorry. 47 boxing career. And then 10 years, nothing. And in the real world, in terms of working in the car game. And when did you open up your gym?
2017.
Wow, mashallah. So way after.
Yeah, 10 years after I retired.
Not usually they go open a gym straight away or within 5 years. 10 years after.
There are nothing to do with the sport.
What made you open your gym? Did you find the need in the community to train people?
No, there's heaps of gyms in there. Heaps of gyms. There's 5 gyms in a 2K radius of me.
Well, yeah, I've seen it.
And they're all boxing gyms. I'm not. That's without the UFC and MMA gyms and that.
Yeah.
There's heaps of gyms where I am. In the pocket I am. But everyone's doing well.
That's right.
It doesn't matter. You got your crowd. I got my crowd.
Right.
I don't train girls.
Okay.
Girls, I don't let girls in my
Mhm,
gym.
mm.
I'm not sexist
No,
or anything.
but
I
it's a
don't like.
men-only gym.
Yeah, I don't like girls and guys mixing. I don't like any youth saying things inappropriate.
Yes.
I don't want to be held accountable
It's true.
by mums and dads, and you let this kid or whatever. So I said, you know what? We got youth are already hard to manage themselves.
That's right.
Now I put a mixture of girls, and I said, no.
Then it goes onto social media. Then you have to deal
Yeah,
with the social media between the girls and boys. I deal with it. I work in an education background now.
Yeah.
After the car game, so there's always that interaction with social media, and then it just blows up, and then we have to deal with it at school.
Yeah.
From our perspective. So, what made you open up your gym? Was it to just train people, help people out?
Well, Nader Hamden was working up in the area at the time. He was running boxing classes. Then he said to me, Skins, I can't do it no more. Can you run classes twice a week? That's what he said to me. And I had the car yard at Lansdale. I was doing.
Oh, you had a car at Lansdale?
Yeah, I was doing well.
I worked in Lansdale too.
I had Knockout Motors. Who did you work for?
I worked for Best Buy Autos, but in its peak.
Haas or Maz?
No, Maz. Yeah, but
so you worked with Cream?
Yeah. You know my Cream?
Yeah, I know.
You probably know Abu Isom.
Yeah, I know. I like Abu Isom.
Yeah. So what happened was Mo, my uncle Mo, he's a computer science.
Yes.
And then he ended up, he did computer science. He ended up with Maz on the weekend, and then things took off.
It went full time.
Yeah, then my dad, rahimahullah, worked with him. Then I left school while I was at uni. I'm like, let me go work in the car game. It taught me a lot. It taught me what uni, and you know how it is. It can be brutal.
You learned the rough way, bro.
You
learned the rough way.
Yeah, but then I went through the period where it was a rough way, and then to the professional aftercare support and repairing cars, not the old school aftermarket stuff, maintaining your name, being truthful to custom, which is hard in the car game. And that's where Mo really changed the branding. And then I had the 6 yards there. But then I'd be in and out. Like I'd work, and then I'd leave. Then
you get over it.
Yeah, then I'd come back. They'd want me back. I'd come back. But I say the car game taught me a lot.
Yeah,
I can't believe you were in Lansdale, subhanAllah.
Yeah.
I left in 2017.
I was a couple of doors down from you.
Wow.
See where Lansdale Holden used to be?
Yeah.
I was yard next to it. There's new building blocks.
Near Haas.
Well, Haas got my yard. Haas took my yard. Haas buy and sell, yeah?
Yeah.
Haas took my yard.
What a small yard. So you were buy and sell?
No, I was Knockout Motors.
As in the premise?
The same
premises?
That was just got built.
Yeah.
I was the first tenant there.
SubhanAllah.
Then I listed someone else, and they played up a bit, and I called Haas, and Haas took over.
So, subhanAllah, you went from boxing to car game, but working for someone, and then you opened up your own car dealership?
I made 5 times more money in 10 years of car game than I made in 20 years of boxing.
For yourself?
For myself.
Allahu Akbar.
I lost money in boxing. Legitimately, if they say to you, oh, you all made money. Nah, we didn't make money, man. We fought twice a year sometimes, and we got 12 grand here and 8 grand here, and your manager takes 25%, your trainer takes 25%. We don't, everyone thinks it's glorified. Yeah, some do make it. Like there's guys that Billy can live off his earnings. Alhamdulillah, he's done well for himself. Tim Tszyu and all them, Nikita can't. Tim can. Tim can live off his earnings, guys. But every other guy, they got a job.
Is it still like that to now where some make money and there's a big divide?
Yeah, the divide's 5% make money.
Have you ever told someone?
All the ones I know that are signed to companies and organizations, either they work in gyms, either they own a gym, or they work on the field, they do,
They set something up for themselves other than career. They have to.
They have to.
Wow.
Sponsors dry up. They sponsor you for 2 months. They get on your shores and they're happy, and then they drop. I'm not the kind of guy that puts anyone on contracts.
Okay.
If I do a deal, if you come to my gym now, you pay a casual visit. I don't want you on contract.
You don't have contract?
No contract, no direct debit, no nothing.
Are you serious?
Yeah, I don't want no one to commit to me, guys. I don't want to lock you into a contract where you can't move and you can't breathe and you're forced to come. No, if you want to come, you come. You want to bring a friend.
You've applied that to your gym?
Yeah, you can pay for the day, the week, or the month. That's it.
Simple. Just day, week, a month.
Simple. I'm there 5 days. I'm there 6 days a week, but 5 days is the classes. Saturday I'll do privates and that. But
where you based at now?
Yeah, Preston.
So for anyone
the Catholic Club.
For anyone that doesn't want a sugarcoat trainer and wants someone to tell him how it is, they go to what's the gym called in Preston?
Body Punch Boxing Gym.
Body Punch Boxing Gym. It's on the shirt in
Yeah.
Preston's.
There you go.
And no contract, no locking, nothing. You pay for the month, week, or
the session.
the session.
Day. Yeah, you want to come once a week, come once a week. We don't care.
And it's up to you. It's up to your work ethic.
Whatever you want to come, you got to drive to do 2 days a week. I train a lot of 40-year-olds, 50-year-olds. They can't do, their body can't hold up to 4 sessions a week. They do 2.
Yeah.
You know, so
I've did a lot of weightlifting. I haven't played sport in a while. Well, I used to play soccer, OSTAG, league, but predominantly weightlifting to get fit and cardio. If I were to maintain a good amount of muscle mass, how would I balance that with boxing?
you won't lose.
Okay.
You won't lose size.
Okay.
If anything, it would shape up your body.
Okay.
Boxing will shape up your body.
So it's a misconception that cardio and boxing makes you lose muscle mass.
You won't. No chance. If you're doing 2 days boxing, 3 days or 4 days of weights, you're not going to lose muscle mass. If it's the other way around and you're dieting in the process of it, you're going to lose muscle mass, of course. But you're going to rip up, you're going to shred. What do you want? You want a bodybuilder's body, or do you want a CrossFit body? Like, what are you going for? I prefer the CrossFit.
Yeah,
I want someone athletic. If I want to look like anything, I want to look like someone athletic.
What do you suggest to the person that's trying to get fit in terms of running? You know how the super athletes or the professionals run 5Ks, 10Ks a day. What's something realistic for someone to maintain while doing boxing and a bit of weights?
For cardio?
Yeah.
Go to an oval in a park,
Yeah.
you run for a minute, you walk for a minute. You run for a minute, you walk for a minute. Then the following week, you run for a minute, you walk for 30. You run for a minute,
Aggressive
you walk
overload.
for 30. Because you go into something, it hurts, you get over it quick. I'm the same. I go hit the bag after a couple of weeks off. I hit it, then I get stuffed this shit. What am I getting in the bag for? I'm only going to stop. Yeah, but if you want to lose weight before you start going to a gym. Because losing weight while you're dieting, while you're training is hard because you have to get your calories up.
That's right.
If you're not training, use your walking to lose weight. There's no effort in walking. You walk, diet clean, you lose weight that way, then you can go into the sport. But people come to me to lose weight. I said, it doesn't work that way, bro. Your dieting will make you lose weight. Boxing will make you hungry.
You keep it simple, mashallah.
Simple.
You keep everything simple, I can tell.
Everything's simple.
Subhanallah.
I'm simple.
Yeah. I'm loving this conversation.
I'm black and white.
Like even the way you've said, for example, with the oval, there's sports science and there's this, you know how it all is, all the numbers and what. It's just simple. 1 minute on, how much off?
If you want to start, you run for a minute, walk for a minute. Run for a minute,
simple.
Walk for a minute. Do that for 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Then tomorrow you want to do 25 minutes. You get intention. Your body your momentum, your drive will pick up. You'll be keener. Getting out of bed the first time or the second time, it's a freaking mission, whatever it is. Then you're gonna be jumping out of your bed wanting to do it. You're just gonna get yourself started.
What about Ramadan? How would someone maintain their training in Ramadan? I know it's not a priority. The month of Ramadan is a holy month, the best month of the year. But to maintain a certain fitness level, what would you recommend?
Well, what I do, I run a boxing gym, not a Muslim gym.
No, of course.
Yeah. So I don't change nothing at Ramadan.
Okay.
But what I recommend, so I got 3 classes. I got 5 o'clock class, 5:45 and 6:30.
At night?
I got kids, teens and adults. But in Ramadan, I tell them come at 5:45.
Fuftur?
Yeah. Do half an hour. Yeah, half an hour in boxing is like walking 3 hours.
Wow.
There's no sport like it. There's no intensity harder than boxing on your whole body, from your toe to your head. Nothing's harder. Throwing punches, you're pivoting, you're rolling, you're using your hips, everything's in track. You get it? So when you're hooking from your front toe to your shoulder blade, everything's at force and as hard as you can. So there's a lot of pain on the body, a lot of intensity on the body. So I told these guys, come from 5:45, leave at 6:20. You get home 6:30, 6:40. You have a shower. By 7:10, you're ready. You pray 2 rakat and you're ready to eat.
That's right. Ftur is 7:40. Yeah, makes sense.
That's what I'm saying.
It's better than, for example, I was thinking, and I know it's hard, but I was trying to think to go before Fajr to change my routine.
It's hard.
It's harder.
It's hard. And people say to me, oh, we'll do it after Salah. You're not doing it after Salah.
No. For Fajr?
Yeah,
no way.
After Salah, Tarawih.
No. Even if you have a tamra and a few things, your body, it's hard to train after it.
Of course it is.
Yeah. I don't train in Ramadan. I try for a week every year. I do a week and then I can't maintain it after.
Of course.
After, sorry,
Your
fطور.
ibadah is more important, you know.
No, of course.
Yeah.
But you think, from your experience, just before fطور is the most simplest way, the easiest way?
Like, fطور is at 7:30 now.
Yes.
And then we finish at 7,
Mm.
for argument's sake. If you want to go for a walk from 5 o'clock to 5:45.
Mm.
Come back, you do a couple of sit-ups. You plank for a minute, you do 10 sit-ups. You plank for 30 seconds, you do 10 sit-ups. You plank for 30, whatever you do, whatever you want to do. Your core is very important. I'm very
Big on core.
adamant. I'm huge on core.
It's your trunk, your
I'm
foundation of your body.
Huge
Yeah?
on core.
Mm-mm.
I'm a bit chubby and overweight,
Mm.
but I don't miss sit-ups, bro.
Yeah, you made sure your core's still strong, huh?
Sit-ups, yeah.
Every time I
Hold
feel
your
like my
back up,
back's
bro.
playing up, it's my core. I know my core's, it's like alarm bells.
Yeah.
It's my core telling me, you need to go back into training. You need to strengthen me.
It's
Yeah.
very important, man.
What's to end this amazing conversation? I can talk to you for another 2 hours.
No, I can't.
What?
go.
I love yours.
I gotta go.
Black or white. What's one advice that you give for everyone in terms of mentality, discipline? What's the one piece of advice you tell someone?
If you're in the sport trade, if you're in the work field, you just got to commit to what you've signed up for. Okay, you've signed up for a job, commit to it. You know, and some of these, I've got kids that, we've done Sparky for 3 weeks. I said, and I want to try something else. I said, why? You done Sparky for 3 weeks. What's better? Like, there's always something better out there, yeah? The poor boys come to my gym and say, Skin, you got the best job in the world. I might have the best job in the world, but I'm indoors 12 hours a day. I don't want to be indoors 12 hours a day. I don't see sun for 12 hours. People say to me, you got the best job in the world. You have a laugh. They bring you coffee. You push shit on this guy. You say, you spar this guy. I say, yeah, I have fun in what I do. I have passion in what I do. I'm happy I see progress in people I train. I do. And they're solely there to get fit. They're not there. I don't want fighters. I never wanted fighters.
Yeah.
I got 5 fighters now because I don't want to be that guy that holds them back and doesn't let them fight. I want to fight because it's a good experience. Later on in life, you want to work at a gym. Oh man, I had 10 amateur fights. There's more respect for you. I have more respect from a footy player that's played football than me sitting on the sideline turns out, have a go, man. What are you so soft for? Run it hard. You've never played football in your life. You're telling someone to have a go. The guy that's played football and broken his bones in football doesn't tell the guy to have a go.
That's right.
Because he's not hard on him. I don't tell someone in the ring, have a go, man. What's wrong with you? What are you so scared for? I know he's not scared in the ring. No one's scared. Everyone thinks he's scared to fight him. He's scared to do this. He's scared to... If they're in the ring together, they're not scared. Business and money makes fights happen. The Turkey Al Sheikh is making fights happen that don't happen.
That's right.
Yeah? He's making... Because money talks.
That's right.
Okay? Why would I fight you for 100,000 when you're a harder fight than me fighting a Billy Dib who's a known commodity and an easier fight for argument's sake? He's out of his prime for $500,000. So why would I fight you?
That's right.
So say what you want about me avoiding you. But Billy Dib is a more suitable fight for me. And it's an easier fight for me, like in hindsight. But the fighters do that. Fighters, you get a choice of 3 opponents. I'm picking the easier one.
100%.
Why would you go hard?
It's true.
I
think you hit the nail on its head to end the podcast is to commit and go all the way.
You got to commit.
That's it.
Cool.
I thank you for coming on the Chronicles of Faith.
Thank
Allah
you.
barik fik. Thank you.
Cool.